I'm somebody. And I've been wanting to talk about Home Safety Hotline for a very long time. I played it recently-ish, like a couple of months ago, and it is so cool. So of course I have to do a alignment chart about it. So I'm going to be going through different categories of creatures, and it's going to be sort of in order of when you acquire them, I guess. But we're doing this. So the first thing that we got, creatures, like little critters, little things, like mice. It's a mouse. It's a mouse, okay? It's like, you know, our baseline. So I'm just gonna do in the middle of funny and horrifying and just kind of put it down here. If it's down here, then it's eh. If it's up here, then it's like both funny and horrifying. Got it? Cool. So next we got a gopher. Gophers are cute. They're very good little guys. Wreak havoc on, what's it called? Gardens. So just kind of funky dude, also with the mice. Bats! I freaking love bats. Bats are cool. I enjoy them greatly, so they're actually going to go just above middle. Next we got is a mole. And the thing you get, if you're watching this, I'm assuming you know what Home Safety Hotline is, but if you don't, it's basically a game where you roleplay being a phone operator at like a pest control place, except there's cryptids. And fae, which big fan of. Don't see a lot of fae horror, and I enjoy it a lot. But the call you get that the answer is for mole is just some dude screaming about how there's shit in his yard. And I think it's funny. So he's gonna go like here. Next we got is raccoons. I love raccoons. They're very silly, goofy little guys. We got some raccoons living in our storm drains right now. Not like in the house, but like on the street. You know those storm drains? But I enjoy them. I'm going to put them over here. We've reached bugs-ish. I'll get into why it's bugs-ish, because there's things that aren't quite bugs in here, and I'm also missing a bug, but I wanted to leave it for later. So next thing we got is ticks. They're like milk toast, I guess. I see them a lot just because like I have a dog and we live kind of near woods, but ticks are gonna go down here. And not even gonna go above mice and gopher. They're gonna go down there. I don't even know if you can see it. Yeah, you can. That's fine. Termites. Termites are, so some lore about me. I was terrified of termites for the longest time because I always thought that if termites like ever got somewhere, they would like become a dust cloud and then strip it of all its wood. So that scared me as a child, and I was scared that one day I was just gonna wake up and there wasn't gonna be a house anymore. So yeah. Next thing we got, house spiders. If you're not a spider person, I get it. They are weird little creatures that have too many legs and too many joints. And quite frankly, I don't love them, but they're also like pretty chill. I enjoy them. Like, that's where you live. Cockroaches. Cockroaches are like fine. They're fine. And I'm so sorry that you're going to have to slog through like the first few minutes of this, and I'm trying to make it as fast as possible. So cockroaches are next, and cockroaches, yeah, like they're fine. They're fine. I don't have anything else to say about cockroaches. Carpenter ants, also probably down here. We have carpenter ants right now, and they're annoying. Bees! I enjoy bees. I do quite enjoy bees. Anyway, I'm gonna put them like here. Bed bugs. They're annoying. I hate them. They suck. I have personal vendetta, I guess, against bed bugs, you go here. Now we have why the ish was there. These are things from probably like night 2 or 3-ish. So we're gonna go with a wine sprite. A wine sprite is a creature that basically drinks all of your wine. It can be found in like a wine cellar, in a cabinet. If you notice that there are like your wine bottles are low, it's probably a wine sprite. So this is probably gonna go over here, just because the lady in it is so upset that her wine is gone. Like in her call, she's just kind of like, my wine! The next thing that I have is a tea sprite. The same thing with wine sprites, but for tea. There's, for some the voice actor for the person who does this call specifically, sings with a weird sing-song quality to her voice, where I thought that that might be a clue, like that one of the symptoms of something was starting to sing while you talked. I think it's just how she talked. Anyway, lamp sprite, the last sort of bug thing. So a lamp sprite is sort of like what happens to a moth. It enjoys lamps, and then it just emits an awful burning, like, smell. It's gonna go over here just because I think that it's kind of funny that they just sit in lamps. Also, you're not supposed to remove them from their lamp, or like not try to forcibly remove them from their lamp, just so that they don't attack you, I guess. And the last one for this category. Okay, I'm going to preface this with like a little bit of a warning. It's sort of a bird box situation, if you know what I mean. So this next thing is a seedling, which are basically little bugs that live in like a garden, and they eat weeds, which is helpful, right? Except for the fact that if you encroach upon their territory, they will make you want to kill yourself. Wild that this is a thing that these little guys can do, but sure. I'm gonna put you over here, because I actually think that they're really cool. The next thing that we have is, if I can separate it right, house things. Things that can happen to your house and, like, sorta cause nuisances, I guess. But they're, like, preventable. You can easily-ish spot them, and we're just gonna go from sort of most tame to least. So first we got carbon monoxide. You never get a call with this, but there is an idea that one of my friends had, thank you, Jordan, who thought it would be cool if one of the early days, they had one of the callers call for something that hasn't been revealed yet, and then have the quote-unquote correct answer be carbon monoxide. And I thought that that was cool. This is also kind of like, I kind of enjoy that it's there. I kind of think it's funny that it's there, but yeah. The next thing that we have is frozen pipes. Pro tip, you should probably keep your house at like 63 if you don't want your pipes to freeze. Just for future reference, I guess. House fire! This became a bit in the group that I was doing this with. I was playing with two of my friends. I was playing with Kay and Jordan, and we were playing, and anytime that there was something that we like hesitated on in any capacity, we were like, it's that damn house fire. So I think it's really funny. I think that it's really funny. Next we got black mold, which I don't know what that noise was. But black mold is like fine. It's there. It is a thing that happens. It's like, meh. This is the lump of like normality, I guess. Like, eh. This is a chunk of eh. So next we got some freaky guys. We're gonna start off with a pipe growth. A pipe growth is basically a fungus that grows in your pipes. Wonder why it's called a pipe growth. So it's easy to spot. And you can pretty easily like figure out, oh, it's a pipe growth. So it's just gonna kind of go over here. It's more interesting than all these guys. The next thing we got is a cellar growth, which is a big goopy green thing from the ceiling of your cellar. And, you know, at least it's easy to spot. I'm pretty sure that it's just one of the things that you can just call and they'll get rid of it for you, so that's nice. I'm just gonna put this over here in the muddle of cellar grotto. So this is what happens when your cellar basically turns into a swamp. You might hear like not cockroaches, like crickets, flora, fauna, and it's gonna smell real bad because swamps and stagnant water don't tend to smell great. So I think, oh, there's also a guy in there. There's a guy in there. The solution is to find the guy and have him remove the grotto. They have a specific thing, like, to do this. But there's a guy in there. There's a guy in your cellar, in the grotto. So I'm just gonna put this on the this side of horrifying. Wood secretions. So wood secretions, I hope that the pause and then the reveal of what's next is a little bit funny. I just hope so. So wood secretions are what happens when, I think that the phrasing is abused wood, which I'm not 100% sure about. In this world, wood can be abused, and when it does, it makes wood secretions, and when the wood secretions happen, it smells really bad, but only if you're an adult, because if you're a child, it smells like candy. Terrifying, right? Think about the implications. Insert the guy who didn't like musicals reference here. Why does this creature feel the need to deter adult humans, but lure in young humans? Is that like its natural food source? Is this a creature or is this a symptom of something? We'll get into symptoms later. But I'm gonna put this just over here, right next to the cellar grotto. Okay, now we're on to the hobs. The hobs are neat little guys. I enjoy them. They've got good character design. I enjoy myself a little guy. So let's start with the common hob and then go from there. So the common hob is a hob that will like eat any dirt or grime or anything. However, and it's helpful, it's nice, it's cool. However, it will at some point, it can metamorphosize. We'll get into that later. So we're just gonna put this little guy, over here. I enjoy them. They kind of belong with the raccoons and bats. Next we got a desk hob, similar to the common hob, except it organizes your desk. As a person with ADHD, that's fantastic for me. However, they will metamorphosize if you don't, like, feed it a certain thing. Common hobs, I believe, are a bowl of milk. I don't remember what a desk hobs is. But I think it's funny because, the call is some dude being like, I know this guy in the office is, like, moving my stuff and showing off his stellar organization skills, and he's really pissed about it, and it's really funny. Fracture hob. Probably the only hob that is, like, outright bad for the house. Like, did it start raining? Yeah, it did. Just fully bad for the house. If you find a fracture hob, a fracture hob will just make fractures in your house, make like cracks go up the walls and stuff. So not great. I'm pretty sure that this one requires cheese, and I think that's funny. Pipe hobs are teeny tiny little guys, and they live in the pipes and they eat soap scum and, like, other things that would, like, clog up your sink and stuff. So, funky little dude, I enjoy them. Also will metamorphosize if not treated properly. So I think that you go over here. Toilet hob. This guy you get late game. And I might be blanking on why. I don't remember if there's, like, something horrific about this one. And we're just gonna live with that. I'll probably look it up later, but this is just straight from memory because I didn't want to do research. So I think you're just gonna go here. Like alright, cool, I guess. Next we're gonna talk about other creatures similar in vein to the hobs. Like, ultimately, not super dangerous, but also, like, kind of weird and annoying. So next we got us a rain nymph, which, it begs to be let inside. It's a little creature that when it rains, it begs to be let inside. And then it causes, like, flooding and stuff, and, like, causes your pipes to burst. It's not great, not fun. We're gonna go in here. Next we got is an animation. An animation is not a series of frames moved in quick succession to simulate movement. It's a little creature that has possessed a small object, like a doll or like a puppet or something like that, and it just walks around at night. There's no real rhyme or reason to them. They're just, like, little guys going on an adventure, I guess. So they're gonna go in here. Okay, leprechauns. I really like what the developer did with the leprechauns, because having them eat metal is really cool and a really interesting way to take the collecting gold thing. Don't love that it'll go into your mouth to, like, eat the braces or, like, fillings or stuff like that. Like, that's not fun, and it can be painful. So you're gonna go here. So the puka. Now you might know of the puka as, like, Celtic folklore, which is a creature that, like, it's a horse in the middle of the woods that has a saddle on, and if you get on the saddle, it takes you for a spooky ride. So the way that the developer took this is, it kills pets and then just stares at you and acts weird in order to get a rise out of you. Just for kicks, I guess. Which is kind of weird. But it doesn't hurt you. It'll hurt your pet, but it doesn't hurt you. So that's better than a lot of these other things. So next we got, like, easy to notice stuff. Like, things that go slow and don't take, like, too much out of, like, they're easy to catch and then relatively easy to get rid of. So the first thing we're gonna go with is bed teeth. So these are fungus that grow like sharp spikes on comforters and sheets, and they're called bed teeth. And I'll put them here because also the call that you get for them is that there's a guy, and he basically is like, hey, do I need to shower more? Because I'm going to bed and I'm itchy. And it's so, like, awful. Like, this guy wonders if he needs to shower more. And I'm not knocking anybody who has trouble showering. Like, if it's, like, a sensory thing, or, like, you don't like your body, I get it. I have a weird time with showering, too. But this guy, he asks if he should shower more. Like, he doesn't know how often he should shower. And he sounds like an incel. I'm gonna be so for real. Voice actor, if that's what you were trying to do, great job. Thank you. Thanks for giving me someone to not like. Next thing we're gonna talk about is a false beat. You can't see it because it's yellow. The false beat is a thing that grows in gardens, and then it pretends to be a beet. And if you eat it, you get a tummy ache. Okay, I ran out of storage space, but we were on the false beat, and it's, like, fine. It gives you a stomach ache. It's okay. It's a little bit funny. It's kind of neat. Like, yeah, sure. Don't know why it gets there or how. I don't know if it's, like, a parasitic creature, something like that. But yeah, next we got a stair slug, which is about the size of a dog. And like, it's fairly easy to recognize because it's, like, the size of a dog and it's a slug. So I kind of put it over here at Funny, which is very fun. I enjoy it. It's kind of silly. It's kind of goofy. The travel gnome is our first gnome, I think. There's a few gnomes, but the travel gnome, after you come home from a trip, you might bring a travel gnome with you. And if you notice that I think in their description, it says something along the lines of, like, procure its garden or something, and I thought that was really funny. I just think it's cute. But they do make a mess of your house, so not fun. I think that these guys actually go over here. Dreamweaver. Fun fact, I used to go skiing, and one of the places that I went to, Blue Mountain, has I think it's a blue trail, and it's called Dreamweaver, and I enjoy it. But it's just like a spider. I do think that the description is funny because it said that it'll influence your dreams, and usually being constricted by webs, and it also constricts you with webs. So I kind of think of it as like a spider with sleep paralysis powers, but the description is just kind of goofy. So I'm gonna put them over here. Unicorn fungi. The call in this is I I cared more about this call than any of the other calls where like an animal died. Cause this guy, he calls and he's like, there's fucking holes in my floor, and also my dog Goblin is missing. And I was really sad because I thought it was gonna be one of the other ones that we were gonna talk about. But it's okay because Goblin came back with a unicorn horn and got to the vet, and it was taken care of. So I enjoy that. I'm gonna put it like over here, just because I enjoy it a lot. And that's all of the like mostly not harmful ones. Next, we're going to go with freaks. These are things that are like, if you treat them right, they won't like kill you. Freaks. So soap sprites are little squid-like, like little. They pretend to be bars of soap. And the only suggestion preventative that they can like offer is don't have bars of soap in your house, because they can take on the form of different bars of soap. So that's kind of weird. I'm gonna put it over here. Trash gnomes. Okay. They're not that bad. They're not that bad. However, I'm the type to overthink things, and it looks like a raccoon. Like, the creator talked about how it was inspired by raccoons and Muppets, and like it's just kind of the rearranged parts of a raccoon. However, its eyes are where its ears usually are. So it's like a cartoon frog. And I just thought about why it would need to like evolve to be like that. I know. I'm overthinking it, and I'm putting too much thought into why these things are the way that things are, but it adds to the horror to me, because I get it. If someone's expecting a raccoon and it's looking down, it's good to have eyes on them. It's good to have eyes when like other creatures think that you're looking away. That's what a lot of animals do. But I don't know why, but this one really got me, because it looks just like a raccoon. Like when you're looking at the picture, it just looks like a raccoon until you realize where its eyes are and where its mouth is, and it just freaked me the hell out the first time I saw it. So it's gonna go over here because I think it's cool, even if it's a little freaky. Next thing we got is an attic gnome. Basically, like a meaner version of a squirrel in your attic. Like, it just kind of sits up there and makes banging noises. It's annoying and not the best. So we're just gonna put it over here. in the lump of mediocrity, the Fae Feast. Okay. We're getting to the Fae, and one of my primary special interests is like Fae lore. So seeing this game where the Fae were part of the like mythos was really really cool. So the Fae Feast is to what humans see, or what the Fae see is like a lovely feast for people to eat, right? They're being helpful, they're being nice. It's a show of hospitality. And if you know Fae, they really like hospitality, and you break the rules of hospitality, oh boy, are you fucked. So a Fae feast to a human is a lump of shit. Could be literal, could be not literal, but like rotting food, just a pile of grain, something like that. And the solution to getting rid of it, to not upset the Fae, is to eat it all and make sure that every person in the household eats some of it. Okay. All right. Cool. Got it. You're going to go like here. Someone's going through the fridge. Okay. Laundry gnome. Laundry gnome. They're just a little guy. They pretend to be laundry because they enjoy the laundry machine and dryer. They're what causes like the banging in a washer. And then also they steal your socks. I think it's really funny, and I think that they're great. I think that they're enjoyable, and I think they're wonderful. The next thing we got is a night gnome. A night gnome. Love a night gnome, right? So they're creatures, they're gnomes, that they like to sit outside of windows and watch people sleep. And they breathe heavily. So at night, you just feel eyes on you and hear a and it's freaky. It's freaky. It's freaky. So we're gonna put you over here with the trash gnome and the seedlings. Next we got the bed hag, who is basically a sleep paralysis demon. Like the original depictions of sleep paralysis demon, like the ones that sit on your chest. So bed hags, while not a danger to most adult humans, people with asthma or children can be hurt and like suffocate in their sleep, which is crazy. But like, it's a nuisance at most if you're a healthy adult human. So as long as you're not like a child or asthmatic or like have similar breathing problems, you should be fine. You're gonna go over here. And then we got the false flower, which is one of the ones that you get late-ish in the game. And it is basically a singing flower that is a singing flower that you gotta treat like a real plant. You gotta water it. You gotta like trim its leaves. You cannot, and you cannot let it know that you know that it's not an actual flower. So that's whack. I think it's a little bit funny. I think that it's cool, and I think it's a little bit funny. I think that it's a neat thing, the like, if I don't perceive you, you don't perceive me, and that's cool. I enjoy that. I enjoy that. So I'm putting it up over here. So up next we have what I like to call abductors. Because their whole thing is that they basically steal people and children away. They use different methods, but I'll go into them as we continue. So the first thing we got is a false rose bush. A false rose bush is basically a rose bush with legs, and it's introduced in game as like the sell is, it's like a real estate commercial, and at the bottom text there's there's like a story about a child who was abducted, and they say that they saw that he was being chased by what seemed to be a person wearing a rose bush. So it got one. So that's gonna kind of go into. This is both funny and horrifying, so it's gonna go in the middle right here. Next thing we got is a. Okay. False artifacts are man-made objects that make a buzzing noise and use that to lure small children and like pets. And dude, the writing for the call for this one is so sad. It's a woman who is looking for her son. I think his name is Jeremy, and he was scared of bees, which is the buzzing noise. And dude, the consequence call is so fucking sad. It's just her screaming in agony and like crying for her lost son, and and he's already gone by the time that she calls, and the only thing that the handbook and the stuff that they tell you to do is to use another thing later that I will explain, so that you don't remember that person anymore, and it's really sad. So for writing, I'm gonna put it over here. It's so good. It's so good. It made me really sad. Next we got a portal, and not to be confused with Hit Game Portal or Portal 2. It is a doorway, like, think Coraline, except it leads you into a fantasy world. Doesn't the breeze feel so nice? It's luring you into the Feywild, and it's going to eat you. Personally, I would just tie some twine around my ankle and wander in, and then try to get out that way, because I know Greek mythology. But I think it's really cool. I think that it's really cool, and I love like fey traps like this where you're compelled to go in. It's great. It's great. It's so awesome. You're actually gonna go over here. Right there. Night wisps. Night wisps are little floating motes of light that whisper like good fortune and the promise of cool things. Don't listen to them. They're gonna lure you out of the house, and then they're gonna get you. And it doesn't say that they're going to kill you, but it does say under no circumstances do not under any circumstances, those are the words, follow their directions. So I'm gonna put them over here. I think that they're neat. Floor. Okay. This is a thing that I was talking about with Goblin. The real consequence call for this one is real sad. It's even sadder. So it is this man, and he is asking for our help because he saw them slowly, their vines or roots that come up through floorboards and slowly wrap around like small creatures. It's safe for adults, but like small pets or children. And this man calls about his daughter who he saw get taken, and he was calling the police, and they didn't do anything. They didn't do anything. And by the time we got his call, it was too late. It's another thing that it's suggested that you use. Another thing that we'll talk about later, which is the same thing as the false artifact. So they're going next to each other. Closet labyrinth. I think this one's really fun. So this is a phenomenon that happens in wealthy people's closets. You might notice missing clothes, but what you'll really notice is the fact that your closet seems a bit longer, or like there's hallways, or I don't know, like there's a labyrinth in your closet. And I think that that's really cool. As someone who's not exactly wealthy enough to be targeted by this thing, I think that it's really cool. So we're gonna put it up here. Next thing we got is autumn vines. Autumn vines are similar to the portal in that you'll sort of be compelled, and it'll make you feel blissful. I don't think that it actually abducts you, but it kind of is the doorway between abductors and the next category, which is mind alterers. So it makes you feel all blissful, and it makes you a little clumsy. And the woman in the call is just like, everything's fine. Everything's wonderful. Tell my brother that everything's fine. And I think that it's cool because I am a sucker for things that like make you feel like nothing's wrong while actively doing something wrong to you. I think that it's a really cool like design concept, and not so cool for people that you know in real life. So autumn vines are gonna go over here. Funny is not quite funny up here. It's like interesting, or like I like it, but it's not really that scary. So the mind alterers are next up, and a lot of them, well, there's only 3 of them in this group. There's the autumn vines, which kind of counts. Let's go with the one that I've mentioned a couple of times. This is a memory wisp, and what it does is it steals memories from a house and your mind a little bit. It takes the visage of someone you love, someone you've lost, and pulls it out of your memory. You remember that there was someone there, but you can't remember who it was. And that's why the false artifacts and the floor roots suggest that you use a memory wisp so that you don't remember the thing that you lost. Wild. Anyway, let's go with the neighbor's doorway. So the neighbor's doorway is basically a doorway that appears at some point, and if you touch it, you are affected by it. Now, I'm not sure if this is just like an actual door to a dimension, and then like someone comes out of it and is like, oh my god, I'm in a different dimension. But it says that you'll experience like parallelism and feel like your family's not your family. It's like the delusion that everyone around you's been replaced by doppelgangers, except it does all of that for like every person in your life, which is crazy. So we're gonna go horrifying. We're gonna be up here for a little bit. And then the mirror nymph. The mirror nymph is something that steals your face. It steals yourself. Your, like, the stuff that makes you you. Like, that makes you recognizable. It steals that. Can you imagine how crazy you would go if you had absolutely zero sense of self? You don't know who you are. You can't see your face in a mirror. You don't know, like, the loss of that? Crazy. You're going in horrifying, under neighbor's doorway. Next, what we got are symptoms. These aren't creatures in and of themselves, but they're things that can happen to you if you interact with or have pissed off certain creatures. So we're gonna go with one that a few of our creatures here can give you, I guess, and it's the Fey Flu. It makes, like, your eyes turn pink, and it makes flowers grow on your face. It's not a fun time. So we're gonna put it over here. Next we got is reanimation. And okay, the reanimation is kind of silly. Not in that, like, oh, it's meh. It's what it kind of sounds like. It's something that a person or like warlock or something has not given you, but is choosing to punish you with, I guess. In the description, the solution is to make amends with any neighbors or family members or anyone that you might have pissed off and hope that they get rid of it. I think that's kind of funny. That's like the only thing that you can do about it. So you're going over here. I was gonna put it really high. It doesn't deserve to be that high. The next things are kind of together. So we're gonna start with sprig vines, which I have misread before as spring vines because of the autumn vines, but I don't know. I dropped my sprig vines. Fuck. Yeah. So, sprig vines. They are basically like kudzu. Do you know what kudzu is? Kudzu is a ivy, an invasive species of ivy that was introduced to the Americas from, I think, Japan, based on the name. And it grows so fast. It grows so fast, and it consumes everything that it touches. So, sprig vines, crazy. I'll explain what they're a symptom of later. Same as the sprig tree, which is really interesting because it is a thing that can happen to you. A sprig tree is a person who has basically gone from a person to exploding into a tree. And there's something that I really like about this one, because one, it mentions D&D, and like Satanism, haha, teehee, funny, nudge nudge. But in the description, it tells you to quarantine yourself. So, my headcanon as to what happened is this teenage boy, who the mother is calling about, by the way, this teenage boy pisses off the creature that causes this. It basically curses him. He calls the Home Safety Hotline and is like, oh my god, what do I do? And because the mother explains that she hasn't seen him much, and he's been hanging out in the shed, and she found this weird black tree with like scraps of cloth or something on it. That's the kid. That's the teenage boy. So my personal headcanon is the kid called the Home Safety Hotline and was like, what do I do? And they told him, you gotta quarantine, and did so without telling his mother. And basically just exploded in their shed, only for his mother to find him later and think it was some occult ritual thing. And that's really sad. That's the implications behind that is really, really sad. This is gonna go up here. Next, we've got the omens. So, you know how I said that I skipped a bug? We're gonna talk about houseflies. Because houseflies, you know, normal houseflies, they buzz around. They are attracted to, like, fruit, meat, things that are just left out. However, the description also adds that they will gather around something slated to die. So that's wild. It's still gonna go like here, but I think that that thing was cool about it. Next we got whistling fungi, and the call for the whistling okay, so whistling fungi are a breed of fungus, I'm not sure if that's quite right, but it's a type of fungus that, as air passes through them, they whistle. And a lot of the time, the whistling will be, most of the time, the whistling will be, like, discordant and weird, and, like, unnerving. However, if they harmonize, that means that the building that they're occupying is going to collapse, because there are enough whistling fungi that it has become able to harmonize, which is crazy. It's a thing that sings when it's, like, on the verge of destruction. And that's cool. So I'm gonna put it here. It's, like, easy to get out, because, like, you have a lot of time beforehand where it's like, oh, there's whistling in my house. That's weird. Let me call the Home Safety Hotline. But it's whack. It, like, in the call that we get, it's on the last day, and this is a fantastic way to do this, because after the last day you can't get consequence calls. So a lady calls, and there's harmonic whistling in the background, and the moment I heard it, I was like, oh my god, lady, get out of there. Anyway, next we have the dorcha, which is in the omens because it is. It's an omen of death. And it will deliver you to the afterlife. It will. There's no escaping it. And the only solution that the handbook says to do is to grieve your loved one before it's too late. At least you're giving them a warning, I suppose. But yeah, if you see a door trail, you're doomed. You're like messed up. You're gonna go over here. Okay. Now to the part where it's, oh my fucking god, get out of your house. So, let's start with the thing that I mentioned when I was talking about the hobs. This is a boggart. A boggart is every, like, analog horror artist's wet dream. I didn't mean to say it like that, but, like, yeah. It's like, it's got the distorted proportions, and it looks freaky because it's not quite human, but it looks kind of human. They're what the hobs metamorphosize into. And boggarts can cause power outages, like flooding, pipe problems, anything. Like, it can wreak havoc on your house and home. So, it's like, okay, it's scary. Don't love it that much, but it's scary. We've got next. Okay, we'll do a couple of the boring ones first, and then we'll get to the funny one. So the warlock remnant is something that can be left in your house by a warlock. It basically lives in reflections, like in your car, in windows, in the mirror, etc. And usually they're not that awful, but if they start to get, like, aggressive, it's just suggested that you move out. That's all that you can do. So we're gonna kind of go with here. It's honestly not that cool to me. It's just like a thing that can happen. Okay. Next, we got the Horde. The Horde is I don't know if it's like a hive mind or it's just something that loves to collect trash. So it's easy to notice if there's like empty cans or like even needles or like trash inside your house collecting somewhere. You know, you have the Horde. However, there really isn't a way to get rid of the Horde. So it's just kind of suggested that you move out. This is gonna go over here because I think it's kind of cool to have like a hive mind sort of consciousness thing. But yeah. So we're gonna go into the silly one first. Troll. Trolls can be scary. Trolls can be really scary. This particular troll isn't that scary. So what it does, it's a guy that kind of deflates itself to sneak into your house and then steals your clothes in the winter because they're cold. However, I failed to mention that this guy is 12 foot tall. So it just takes some time to like deflate. And like you can hear it deflating, like it goes like it's even like more deflaty than that. It's however, they can like grow to a to like back to their normal size at any given point. So It's not suggested that you sneak up on a troll or startle a troll or approach a troll, because if they're in your house and you get too close to them, they might just explode and kill you. And I think that's great for them. I think that's hysterical. Okay. Now, the kobold. Now, D&D people might know kobold as like a little dragon thing, a little like lizard person. Kobolds weren't originally that. They're like dogs. They're like dogs. They're like 5-foot dogs on their hind legs that whimper and whine to get people to get closer to them. And they're also very territorial. So it's not suggested that you get closer to them. So okay. For context, I had a dream when I was like in middle school, and it freaked me the hell out. It was like these bipedal dog things that like danced around like this, and like if you touched it, you turned into it. And I've still got a little bit of dog trauma from that. Like, I'm fine with real dogs. I'm fine with dogs. I'm actually, like, fine with dogs. I love dogs. But a bipedal dog whimpering and whining at you to go towards it only to kill you when you get too close. Terrifying to me. So that's here. And the last one. If I've missed any, oopsie daisy. But this is the last one that I have. This is a Spriggan, which I mentioned before are related to sprig vines and also the sprig tree. So, this is basically like a spirit or like a nature creature that if you mow the lawn, if you eat fruit in public, if you like, I don't know, stomp on sticks, stomp on leaves, I don't know what this thing's like rubric or like expectations or like how much is too much. But this creature will stalk you from trees if you've angered it. It'll like watch you from trees. And it'll like basically make your life hell if you anger it. Because, you know, we heard about the sprig tree, the thing that makes you explode. And we heard about the sprig vines, which consume your house so you can't get out. And it can be triggered by something so, like, normal as eating an apple. So, this is going to go over here because I think that they're really cool. And I hope you enjoyed this because I just wanted to ramble for an hour. So, yeah, bye.